Occultists believe that as these elements fulfill their properties by performing a movement infinite times, an electric current is set up. It is out of these ongoing coordinations that a consciousness is formed. The four kingdoms of primary elementals under their angelic kings represent the intelligent action of these four properties. The mind side to the material phenomenon. Such as in nature, a forest or a hill or a beehive. The bee is part of the hive consciousness, and the hive itself can be called the bee angel. These systems consist of repetitions of forces, stresses, and reactions of the environment, where memories are born, which gives rise to the elemental spirits. These are which our ancestors worshipped as devas or nature spirits. Yet first, these elemental spirits begin as children, breaking apart from the system they developed from, and as they develop further, they realize that they will someday cease to exist, because these elemental beings have no divine spark, no soul, because they are creations of the creation, and not creations of the divine creator. So they grow in consciousness until they understand their own mortality and see that they are in fact a lost being. And although they may live many lifetimes when compared to a normal human lifespan, they will one day completely cease to exist because they are soulless. So they seek as initiators those who have souls, humans, which some occultists take on these elemental spirits as students, and hence become the magician's familiar. In return, the elemental spirit will perform services for the magician, being experts of whichever material element that bore them. They have a grasp on scientific knowledge that surpasses our greatest human minds, such as Edward Kelly and John Dee asked the elemental MACROBES for the recipe to turn any metal into gold. This has been the dream of every alchemist in the world. These elemental beings possibly even explain how to create energy from matter by splitting an atom later on. Often these human macrobe relationships turn out for the very worst. At this point, I would like to remind the audience of Hitler, who had the most advanced scientists known to the world, scientists who the American and Soviet governments sought out, pardoned, and adopted as their own. It has been known and said by many that these scientists achieved their advanced scientific abilities by mixing occult studies with modern science. It must be understood that elemental macrobes are very much like humans, as in they are constantly evolving in their consciousness. Some are not even intelligent or of a semi-conscious nature, while others are very old, wise, and cunning. As said previously, elemental macrobes are born out of repetitions in nature. This also includes human nature, where repetitions of evil thoughts, deeds can give birth to these demonic elementals in their larva form. These demonic macrobes are the shadows of those who have lived on earth and who have refused all spiritual light, being stuck on greed, materialism, perversions of sex, instead of taking a spiritual path of slowly freeing themselves of material addictions and concerning themselves with that of a higher or more spiritual nature. These unbalanced or evil forces only care about service to themselves, experienced through a material world, and will stop at nothing to feed off of occultists or victims the occultist has offered in ritual form. Thus, we arrive at the concept of the demonic entities known as the male incubus and the female succubus, who are elemental beings which prey on individuals while they are asleep. They are known to feed off of sexual energies. Often this is related to sleep paralysis, but there are other explanations for sleep paralysis as well. Though, in regards to the incubus-succubus phenomenon, the elemental macrobe has begun to feed off of a person's sexual energies as they sleep, often causing sexual dreams. And if a person awakes in the midst of this unholy operation, they find themselves paralyzed for a period of time, although they are conscious and awake. Once again, sex and sexual energies are related to the material experience, and for a spiritual being to crave this sort of interaction gives cause that it is a very unbalanced entity. Yet even more imbalanced are the occultists, which set out to feed these demonic macrobes by taking them as their spirit husbands or wives, or even more disturbing, through rituals whereupon victims are sexually or physically traumatized or killed for the payment of these vampire-like beings, knowledge or services.
That's a bulletproof Cyrus. Bulletproof Cyrus. Bulletproof Cyrus. Bulletproof Cyrus.